The terrace is for guests only.
Monsieur, the young lady will be joining me. What did you do?
I'm a lady's companion.
Maxim de Winter. His wife died last year and is in dire need of company.
I'm Monsieur de Winter.
What are you doing?
Oh, you'll see.
On today's episode, we discussed the Netflix original Rebecca. He's Jay.
Not too original.
I'm Alan. That's Ben.
Three bros with three opinions, all about movies.
This movie, Jabs.
Let's go.
This week, I'd like to never forget it.
Come to Manderley. I'm asking you to marry me, you little fool.
Yeah, I had no idea this was a remake.
You did, yeah.
I had a zippy idea.
You had no idea?
No.
Not until we sat down and you said something.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't know either.
Oh, see? I don't feel so stupid.
I had no idea.
I'm the only one that knew.
Oh, you movie buff you.
Oh,
How'd
Mr.
you-
Mr. Buff.
how'd you-
You're the buff guy.
how'd
You're
you-
supposed to know
how'd
this
you
stuff.
know?
I looked it up.
Oh.
He watched the original first.
So
of
you
course
didn't-
I did. Of course
you
I
didn't
did.
know.
It's
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, 1940.
So Rebecca, that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Rebecca. This movie that Alan wanted us to watch.
Okay, well, no,
so-
hold on. First of all,
yeah, go on.
because we were talking about horror movies,
Uh-huh.
and then you're like, "Oh, watch Rebecca."
No.
So I was 45 minutes through this movie, and I'm screaming like, "What's going on here? Why is this not scary?
Mhm.
Is Alan screwing with me?"
Mhm.
And then I realized
And then
afterwards
you
that
reread the text, you're like, oh, yeah.
no, I didn't reread the
It was
text.
jumbled.
No, actually, I texted you how much I hated you. Remember?
You did.
So yeah, let's just get it out there. This is not the type of movie that anyone sitting at this table would ever choose to watch. Except for Alan.
He's the romantic
All right.
guy.
We wouldn't choose to
Yeah.
watch this movie. Alan would.
That's
Yeah.
not true. I saw it was in like a USA top 10. It was a Netflix. I'm like, let's watch
But
it.
I will say this. That being said, it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't terrible.
It was really bad if you were expecting a scary movie.
Yeah. Well, I had no idea what to expect. When I sat down to watch
it,
this,
was gonna be like
I
saw your
had no
life.
idea what to expect. And I will tell you this. I almost turned it off. I almost turned it off because of the first 20, 25 minutes.
That's like 35 minutes.
So the first quarter of this movie is pure, unadulterated, fantastical, like every girl's dream love story.
Like, we get it. You're poor. Nobody likes you. We get
this
it.
super rich guy, he's
Yeah.
into you, and he's gonna take you away and whisk you off your feet and take you
Yeah.
to his big magic castle, and
Yeah.
you're gonna live a happy life.
Mrs. de Winter, may I present Mrs. Danvers?
Welcome to Manderley.
But then when they got there, and
I was
took
waiting
a
for him to
turn-
kill her at some point. But
Well, that comes later. Well, when they got there, it took a turn, and I was like, okay, now this is interesting.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting. When all the extra supporting characters got involved, especially the lady of the house,
the lady of the
Oh,
house and the
that-
cousin and the
yeah,
cousin.
Danny,
Yeah.
when she got involved, I was like, oh, now it's getting interesting, and she
Yeah.
made it interesting.
She was a
That
mean
char-
lady.
Oh, she was evil,
Didn't like her.
like pure
she
evil.
had the resting, you know what face.
Yo, she
As
was
soon as you saw her, I was
evil.
like, yeah.
Pure evil. So the first quarter of this movie, I was suffering. I
Yeah.
suffered through it, and even that to say, it wasn't that it was bad. It was just I don't want to watch
Yeah.
a corny, cheesy love story.
It's just
I
it's
don't
not
wanna
your
watch it.
genre. Not everybody's Alan.
The first
No.
30 minutes were definitely
Your favorite part of the movie.
way too
Yeah.
way too lovey-dovey, and I'm like, after that, I'm like, now it's gonna take a turn for the worse. you
Yeah,
know?
and it did take a turn for the worse. So Rebecca is about a character. So Armie Hammer is the main character in this, and he's a rich.
Armored Hammer.
Yeah, he's a rich aristocrat, whatever kind of guy from England, and
He's a widower.
yeah, well, and his wife is dead, and her name was Rebecca.
Yeah.
And the whole movie revolves around the premise that she's the new girl. What's her name that she played in it? What the,
So the only thing
James?
too is but the only thing too is that the new
Gonna-
girl,
are you gonna
he's only
Answer him?
Huh?
Are you
Yeah,
gonna
what's the
answer his
female's actress's
question?
name?
Lily James.
Yeah, okay, Lily James. So
Oh, I thought you said James.
No.
so
I
to
didn't know
finish
the first name.
to
We're
finish
waiting
my
on the whole-
statement before Alan interrupted me.
Rudely.
Lily James, the whole premise of this movie is she's always living in the shadow of his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
all the staff of his manor and all this stuff look down on her and resent her for coming into his life.
They pretty much let her know that
Right.
she is second fiddle for life.
And they make it
I felt
out.
sorry for the whole movie.
Well,
I
yeah,
know you
yeah,
did.
you were supposed to.
I did.
And
I know.
but they made the movie made it out to be that even Armie Hammer, even he looked down on her for being
Right.
second fiddle until the end. until the final twist.
Till you realize.
And the final twist, I liked the final twist.
It was
I was
good.
like, oh, this is good.
I did too.
I was like, this is good.
Yep.
And it finally got good, but it just took forever to get there.
Never seen a house like this.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you'd been a lady's maid.
This is all very new to me.
Oh, I'm sure you won't disappoint him, madam, if that's your concern. We did a lot of entertaining when the late Mrs. de Winter was alive.
You can talk to me about her. I have no secrets from you.
All marriages have their secrets.
And I will say that when it did get there, I liked the movie.
Yeah, if you can power through the first 30 minutes, I think most people will like it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I will say
better.
there was a couple times in those first 30 minutes where I called myself texting. I'm just like, I get over it.
Yeah, I wanted to turn it off. I literally wanted to turn it off.
But it does get better.
Yeah, it does get better, and it gets good. It goes from this happy like Hallmark love story
to dark,
like real dark.
Where it's raining every day.
It's raining.
It's dark.
Well, that's because it's
like
England. It always rains every day.
Yeah.
But then they had like the thriller, suspenseful, like she's walking down the hallway in the dark, not knowing what to expect, and all this stuff.
Oh,
Sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking.
It had stuff that like raised your stress level and all that kind of stuff. So it was good in that aspect. It just took way too long to get there.
Has Max ever talked to you about the accident?
I don't know what you're talking about. How am I supposed to know anything if you don't tell me?
She's still here. Can you feel her?
Been tossing and turning all night. Rebecca. Bad dream?
She was the love of his life. I wonder what she's thinking about you. Taking her husband, using her name.
Now,
it was 2 hours and 3 minutes.
it was long.
So
It
it
was long.
is on the longer side.
Yeah, they could have cut 15 minutes out of that.
I kept going.
First half.
45 minutes in. It's gonna start getting scary soon, I think.
Yeah, and it never
All
did.
right, I'm an hour and a half in. It's getting a minute now. It's
But-
coming right around the corner.
About
So-
to see a ghost.
What I liked about this movie, if you look at it from, outside of just being a moviegoer and analyze it as a movie, the cinematics were great. It was a period piece. The costumes, everything was great. The color grading was great. The lighting in it, it's probably one of the best lit movies I've ever seen for like the dark and moody scenes and the bright scenes. You really felt the emotion because of the lighting. So I think on that aspect, this is a great movie. It just wasn't my type of movie to go with that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And the acting was good too.
Oh yeah, all the
Acting was
actors were
actually
good,
really-
especially the
really
evil
good.
lady.
She was very good.
Creepy.
I'll say I like I think the acting the most, and how you genuinely were like I was genuinely sad for like literally like the main character. I really was. I
We
was
know
like,
you were.
I'm like,
know.
I'm like,
We know
everyone,
you were a big
I'm
guy.
like, everyone's being so mean.
When we got that Snapchat of you crying, we were like,
Yeah.
oh, we know. I know what party he's at. I
Tears-
think.
tears in his eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you give it?
Well, I want to cover where it fell through for me. What I didn't like. And I'm going to spoil it just because you have to talk about this. And it's
Spoiler
a remake.
alert.
So everybody already knows. It's
Spoiler
a story
alert.
that I think most people watching this already knew it was a remake.
You're the
For
only
us.
one.
Oh, so
I
yeah.
promise you're the only one.
You looked it up. I'm telling you, nobody knows.
Okay, so anyway, the whole thing revolves around her being in the shadow of his former wife, Rebecca's name. Turns out he killed her. Why did he kill her? She was evil. Wasn't a great woman. Evil. Treated she got around with a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
A lot of
A little
dudes.
promiscuous.
Oh, very, very, very.
So she pretty much manipulated everyone, and only he knew the real Rebecca.
Yeah, only he knew the real Rebecca. And the movie did a great job making you think that he really was stuck on her and couldn't really truly fall in love with his new woman.
Yep.
Until you
Until
found
the
out.
end, until
You
you found
found
out
out
it
he
was-
absolutely hated her.
But where it fell through,
flipped around.
where it fell through is his new girl, Lily James. Once she found out the truth, she couldn't have been happier that her new husband's a murderer.
He doesn't love you.
I said I want the truth.
You didn't know her. Nobody did.
You can't go on living in that big old house with a ghost.
I don't believe in ghosts.
She couldn't be happier that
No,
he
it's-
killed his
But
ex-wife.
that's fine. She was just more relieved.
I
She was
know,
just
but
so
then-
relieved that
but
he
then the
didn't-
rest of the movie is them trying to cover up the murder.
I actually liked that.
That's where it got good for me.
That's the part I liked.
Me too.
Like,
Oh,
That's
we're on the other side of the fence
that-
here, friend.
no, we're not on the other side. I
yes,
get
we
it.
are.
Hello, Wilson.
No,
Peeping over the fence over there, Wilson, are you?
don't come over here. Stay on your side. That's why I liked it.
Me too.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, all of a sudden, so now the fact that like she finds out in the movie, she says, "You can tell me anything you want to talk about," and he's like, "No, I don't want to talk about it." So finally, when he does, she's like, "Oh my God, that's fine. I'm relieved."
Oh my
Weight
God,
lifted
you
off her
killed
chest.
her. I'm relieved. You killed her.
Yeah,
And
well,
then
it's
she's
great.
like, "All right,
Yeah.
we're in this together." Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
exactly what Alan's looking for.
Oh my
No, I actually like that part. So
I do too.
I need your rating. man.
It made it a good movie. So
I need your rating.
my rating. So for Jab Score, this is not my kind of movie, but for what it is, I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
A 7.
I was gonna go the exact same way. I
Oh,
was
seven.
gonna give it a nice 7. It was a 3 until I found out it actually wasn't a horror movie. Because I was like, that's the worst horror movie I've ever seen. Then after that, I'm like, oh, okay, it's actually not bad for what it is. I'll give it a 7.
If they could shorten or add some better drama or something in the beginning to make it more interesting, I could probably rate it an 8. But the beginning killed it for me.
I think if you're just going to shorten, it's got to be the beginning part. Though.
Yeah,
It's got to be the beginning, but I think they were really trying to drive home the fact that she was working for this, crappy lady. And,
but they hammered it.
No, they hammered
Which
it.
actually, she
They
ended up being
hammered
nice
it.
at the end.
That
crappy
lady?
Yeah.
Well, not really.
She was at the party.
No, that wasn't her.
No,
that
it
was
wasn't.
the sister.
That's a
No,
sister.
That's the sister, bro.
Yeah, that's a sister.
At the
No,
end?
that was the sister.
That's a
All right.
sister.
That was the sister.
Mhm.
We pay attention to
See,
details.
that's what happened. No, well, when you're crying through most of it,
You can't
the
tell.
eyes get a
No,
little
it was-
cloudy and you couldn't
It was
tell.
so blurry. I
Yeah,
couldn't tell.
exactly.
All right, so
You
I give it a
rewatch.
7. I give it a 7. You give it a
7.
7.
I was going to say exact 7, yeah.
7's across the
No,
board.
7.
Seven.
7,
Okay.
7,
It's like a slot machine.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else?
That's it.
All
That's
right.
it for Rebecca.
We're out.